Perfect. Thank you, Diana. Yeah, so welcome everyone. My name is Maria Cristina, aka MCP. We're very happy to have you here today. We're really excited about the subject. Our guest invited to this opportunity. And so we'll just do like a quick presentation of what Latinas in Tech Canada is. And so we hit it off. So, who we are. For those of you know that don't really know already, Latinas in Tech is a nonprofit organization with the aim to connect, support, and empower Latina women working in tech. LIT started in 2014 in Silicon Valley as an informal gathering between two friends and grew up into this amazing movement. Our co-founders dreamed of a group where Latinas could connect with each other, learn from each other, and support each other's professional careers. So the group eventually became big enough that started hosting meetups at various tech companies in the San Francisco Bay Area. So just to show you a little bit what is LIT around the world. So today there are 23 chapters globally. The community comprises more than 27,000 members, and I think it's even more now, representing all Spanish and Portuguese speaking countries, working at more than 200 of the top tech companies across the world. So as you can see, Canada is one of them, as well as London, Mexico, Brazil, Madrid, Dublin, and it's also important to highlight that USA has a lot of chapters, like almost one chapter per city. Here's one of the official sponsors that we have. So our members work at all of top of the tech companies, including Airbnb, Apple, Asana, Salesforce, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Netflix, Amazon, Tesla, Twitter, and you name it, and many, many more. Our members represent the entire tech ecosystem, including software engineers, cybersecurity experts, data scientists, business development leaders, public relation professionals, sales professionals, journalists, bloggers, entrepreneurs, investors, marketing professionals, recruiters, and way, way more. So if you ever feel that any of the companies that you know or you work for would like to be one of our sponsors, you can, be in touch with us. And these are our Canadian partners because, of course, now we're Latinas in Tech Canada. So we launched in the fall of 2020. So we know what happened in 2020, right? Like the pandemic hit, and this chapter got created just right after pandemic. So we have only, well, the leads in the past were having virtual events. Unfortunately, we couldn't have any in-person events. And that's what, the Canada chapter started. So we partner with multiple tech companies and organizations to continue amplifying our voice and our mission. Like we have Airbnb, we have Ascent, we have BNP Paribas, Coursera, Slalom, SAP, which is the last event that we partnered with them last month. McGill University also as a community partner, and Shopify, and many more. And these are chapter leads. So 3 of them are located in Toronto, 2 in Ottawa, and 3 here in Montreal, like Diana, Iliana, that I think is around here. We are the leads in Montreal. So just to give you a presentation on myself, like I said, I'm Maria Cristina, aka MCP, born in Venezuela, living in Montreal since 2014. So in my full-time role, I'm continuous improvement manager for Alicent, who manage the digital assets of Air Liquide. It's a big French company and is the world leader in industrial gases. I've been in tech since 2018, thanks to Airbnb. And I've been a Latinas in Tech member since it launched the chapter in Canada in 2020. So last year in conversations with my friend Diana, I took the role also of chapter leader in July 2023. And so, yeah, so we're work really hard, very passionate people, women, to bring our community together. And yeah, so it's been a very, very good year and very rewarding, I will say. So a little bit of what we do. So our vision is a tech industry where Latinas are well represented throughout all levels of the ecosystem by empowering them to be innovators and leaders. And part of our mission is to provide the resources, the opportunities, and the community for Latinas to thrive, innovate, and be the leads in the tech world. I'm going to go quickly through all the pillars. So we're focused on empowering, connecting Latinas through three key pillars. The first one is learning. The second one is recruitment, that we actually have, we have built a database, strong enough to be able to, you know, give that information to the companies for them to recruit when they want to diverse their talent, so they can reach out to us. And we have also Latinas in Tech has a mentorship program that you either can take as a mentee or as a mentor. So if you want to get more information, we have more information in our website. So let's talk about a little bit about demographics. Did you know that according to Statistics Canada, the tech sector still grapples with underrepresentation, with only 23% of the workforce comprising women? So this is very shocking. Like data from the National Center for Women and Information Technology reveals that Latina women represent just 1% of this workforce. So this is our driving force. This is why we're here. This is why, as the mission said, we want to empower, we want to support you. We're here to give you the tools to succeed and to thrive as a Latina in the tech world. And these are a picture of some of the events that we had in the last year. So we have a lot of fun as well. In the past 12 months, we have the privilege of partnering with some of Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa tech companies to host events for our community. As many of you know, of course, if you follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram, you have seen a lot of postings about the events that we have through the year. So here are a few pictures of our events, and for people to know, LIT organized two types of events. So the cafecitos, for example, this one that you can see here, beautiful ladies. So those are more like informal type of events. So it's more like a networking and connection events. And we also have partnership events that we do with, for example, Airbnb, Ascent, and Trust. And the biggest event that we had last week was our community was part of the Collision conference, so that was a big deal. And these are the type of events that we partner with some companies and community partners to do for learning opportunities. We pick a topic and we can, have a panelist talking about their experiences and their thoughts. But okay, so now we have talked about Latinas in Tech, Canada, and so it's now time to meet our guest partner in this opportunity. So I'm just going to present you Andrea Lugo, which is a proud Venezuelan immigrant who has lived in Montreal, Canada for the past 9 years. So welcome, Andrea. She has built a successful career in human resources, gaining comprehensive experience in various HR roles. For the past 4 years, Andrea has excelled as a human resource business partner, tackling some of the most challenging aspects of the HR spectrum, including recruitment and strategic HR management. So she's also certified as a career coach with the Career Professional of Canada. Andrea has dedicated the past 2 years to helping Hispanic professional immigrants navigate the North American job market. So that's why she's here. She's passionate about empowering others with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to achieve their career goals. Andrea has also managed remote teams across countries like Germany, France, Iceland, and North America, gaining extensive experience in the tech sector. She's an active speaker, participating in various panels and conferences to advocate for professional development among immigrants, encourage them to move beyond survival jobs and realize their full potential. So beyond her professional life, Andrea is a mother of three, an avid book lover, and proudly identified as a Latina in the tech world. So I give you a very warm welcome. And yeah, so great to see you. Great to have you here, Andrea.
Thank you. Thank you for such great presentation from Latinas in Tech. I'm thrilled to be here and share with all of you today. I'll start sharing my screen now so I can go
Perfect.
through the presentation. Okay, here we are. Perfect. Can you confirm that you all get to see my screen? Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, amazing. Thank you everyone for joining. As MCP mentioned, I'm Andrea, and I'll be guiding you today through this topic that I'm very passionate about, which is essential tools for effective job search. Now, the agenda for today, we're gonna go through where to start with your job search. I'm gonna give you some resume building essentials, how to master the interview, and some best practices on how to network and building connections. So be ready to stay active on the chat because I want to hear your opinions on different questions that I'll be asking around. And I have the first one ready. So, what is the first thing that you do when you want to look for a new job? So put it in the chat. What's the first thing that you do when you want to look for a new job? I'm sure that most of you have done it in the past and are very familiar with looking for a job. So let's see the comments. Okay, update my resume, LinkedIn profile. Okay, I see a lot of resumes. Tell my network, amazing. Okay, good. Now, it's not your resume where you have to focus first when you want to go to look for a new job. It's actually not your resume. So right now, we're gonna start to set you up for success, and I'm gonna give you some hints or some guidance on where to start when you wanna go for a new job. And the first one is identify your job search goal. We all here are at different stages of our career, of our professional careers. So you have to identify if your goal is to go from a senior level to a director level, or if you are at that stage where you just want to change from the company that you're working with right now. So what is the goal of your job search? Because imagine that you're just driving a car, but you have no destination. That's how your job search goes if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a place to get to. You might get to the destination, but you don't know it because you don't know where you're going. So the first thing is this, to identify what is the goal for your job search. The second one will be understanding your strengths and weaknesses. because that will make you self-aware of what you have and where you can improve in your job search, okay? To have better opportunities, to say, okay, maybe I'm not so familiar with a specific tool or a specific program that I need to use in my day-to-day, because maybe I graduated 10 years ago and the technology has advanced so much right now, and especially in the tech industry, that you have to be up to date. And maybe you haven't been looking for a job in the past 4 years. So what happens? You're a little bit behind in your skill set. So you want to be aware of what are those improvement opportunities that you have. And the third one will be leveraging your unique skills and experiences. And what does that mean? It means that you have a very unique skill set and experience. No one else, or very few people in the world, will have this exact same skill set, experiences, work experience that you have. So you have to take that and use it in your favor. So how you're gonna build that story around your work experience, around your professional profile. That's why you have to be self-aware of what those skill sets look like and those experiences, and how to tell that story, how you're gonna present those skills and those experiences. Now, again, let's go to the chat. If these are the ingredients to a recipe, what will you say is the name of the recipe? And I know it's a hard one, so I'm just gonna go to the answer. And it's job search strategies. That will be the name of the recipe. And you might be like, okay, I got lost here. But when you identify your job search goal, that's when you can start crafting your resume layout. When you understand your strengths and weaknesses, it allows you to be interview ready because you are self-aware. And last but not least, when you leverage your unique skill set and experiences, you have a compelling storytelling that has consistency throughout your job search. Okay, so these three points are very important and relevant for your job search, especially the last one, the storytelling and the consistency that you need to have throughout the job search. Okay, and now we're gonna jump into this very first topic that we have here on the resume. So, resume building essentials. Once again, I want to see you participating in the chat. And this time, you're going to tell me if your resume is in PDF or is in Word format. So let's see, because this is all a battle. And I just see PDF on the chat, both. Okay, Word, PDF, PDF, PDF. Okay, okay, Word to share in PDF. Okay, okay, good, good, both. Now we're gonna see the difference between the two of those and how do you use them? What are the best practices or the essentials for a resume? Should it be in Word? Should it be in PDF? Should I have both? Let's get to that. So the format on your resume and the ATS. Maybe some of you are aware or not. Maybe I have some HR colleagues here that know what an ATS is. An ATS is an applicant tracking systems. And those systems help recruiters to classify or to manage the applications for a job posting. Most of these ATS are very old school tools that haven't been updated in a long time. Some of them That's why the PDF not ATS friendly is has a little mark, because some of them actually accept the PDF format. It's just that not all of them accept the PDF format. And you never know which ATS you're going through. So that's why I recommend to use your resume in Word format. So not PDF, because it's not ATS friendly. It normally uses columns and graphic elements, and the storytelling is hard to follow because you don't have very good set of the story, because you just have columns and you don't know where the person is gonna look when they're seeing your resume. So they might get to information that is either not relevant or that is not exactly what they're looking for. So in order to avoid this, I recommend that you use the Word format. And how does it look like? So the Word or DocX, that's kind of the Google Documents format, is ATS friendly. The storytelling is adaptable because you can change the sections of your resume, the layout of your resume, to make the storytelling more compelling and more adaptable to what your job search is going towards. And it focuses on the information and not in the design, because it's about the information and the qualifications that you have for the role, and not if your resume is pretty or is not pretty, or if it has glitter or unicorns. We really don't care about that. But if you are in a, let's say, creative, like marketing, like design, if you're more towards those professions, you should have a portfolio that is different from your resume. So this, you have an example on your screens on how the resume should look like. And this is actually my resume. This is the one that I created for myself at the end of last year when I was into a job search. And this resume landed me 3 job offers. So this is a good example that you can follow along. Okay. Now, how should be the resume structure? So the most important sections in your resume are the ones that you see on the screen. Contact information. You have no idea how many people send their resume without the contact information. So you might be the perfect candidate for the role, but if you put your contact information, they will never be able to find you. So put your contact information in your resume. Your professional headline. Your professional headline is, let me show you here with my example. If you see my name here is very small, and my professional headline is in blue right here, a little bit bigger, because my professional headline is more important than my name, okay? So please put a professional headline in your resume. Also, the summary. The summary, it used to be more like a professional objective, like where do you want to go in your career? Right now, the summary is about telling the recruiter or the hiring manager what are the things that make you the standout candidate for that specific role that you're applying to. So make sure that you put there what are the main qualifications that you have for the role that you are applying for. And the other sections on your resume are the work experience, education, skills, and any certifications that you might have. And how is that going to play around, or what sections should come first than others? It will all depend on your job search goal, because you might have a ton of experience, but if you're looking to change career, your work experience doesn't come first. And the other way around. If you have a lot of experience, but you want to go into a new professional setting, but you have done your studies on that, then your education might come first. Or if you have the skills from previous work experience from like years and years ago, you have to also put that as a relevant section in your skills. So it will all depend ultimately into what your goal is for the job search. Perfect. Okay, so the layout of your resume will depend on that, your job search goal, your qualifications for the role that you're applying for. What makes me the standout candidate for this role? Is it my work experience? Is it my education? Is it my skill set? You have to ask that yourself and have the job posting in front of you so you can identify where are the common things that you have with that job posting. And also, it will depend on your own use of the storytelling. So how do you tell your unique blend of skills and experiences? How are you going to tell that story? Should I put a career highlight section in my resume? If you're looking to aim for a higher position than you have right now, then you can add a career highlights section because you have already experience in the area. And if you have worked there for 4, 5, 3 years, I'm sure that you have accomplished a lot of things in that position, and that is relevant for the next role that you're aiming for. Perfect. And now I want to give you some recommendations. Tailoring your resume for different job applications doesn't have to take 3 hours. The idea of changing your resume each time that you're going to apply for a new job, it's sometimes not feasible because you work, you have a life, you have family, and you don't want to spend more than, I don't know, 30 minutes doing one application. So I will say that you focus on trying to put more, to make more evident the information that is already in your resume, but that will qualify you best for the role that you are applying for. Don't overstress about the famous keywords. Keywords are important, yes, they are, but they are not the main factor in your resume. There are other important things and aspects that you have to consider. Keywords must be on your resume, yes, but don't overstress about not having enough or having to repeat many times the keywords so the ATS will kind of recognize that they are there. Also filter the information. If it doesn't add up, your experience, your education, or if you have a course that you did long time ago that doesn't have anything to do with what you want to do next, just don't put it. Don't put it on your resume. Resume gaps are common, so don't try to cover it up with something that is ultimately harder to explain. Some people that I have worked with has had their own business for 5, 6 years, and then they decide to go into work for a company again. And yeah, maybe they were not active all of that time. Maybe they were stay-at-home moms, and they were running a side business as well for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they decide to add that to their resumes. And then it creates more questions, and it's harder to explain, like, oh, you had your business, and why do you want to come and work for a company now? Maybe you're just stressing or having a hard financial situation, but once you're good, are you going to go back to your own business? So those questions are harder to answer than if you just put a gap on your resume and you explain that you were a stay-at-home mom for the past 2 years. So don't worry too much about those gaps. And this is a phrase that I really, really like. A good resume will land you the interview, but a good interview will land you the job. So it's not all about the resume. Of course, it is important because it's kind of the first step. It will open up the doors for you. But once you are into that first interview, your resume doesn't have any other purpose. Now it's up to you and how you present yourself in that interview. So that's why we're going to see how to master the interview. Once again, be ready to participate in the chat because I want to ask you if you are ready or prepared to communicate your salary expectation in the first interview. Let's see, this is another hard topic. Okay, no, yes, okay. Okay, yes, a lot of yes. Please help, okay. Okay, you will ask what the range is. I will ask for the range first. Okay, I asked the salary range. Okay. Okay, that's good. I wouldn't give the first number. Okay, that's good. Thank you all for all your comments. Very interesting. Now, you remember the recipe that we were cooking. So when you have these three main pillars that I already told you about, you know your market value because you have identified what your goal is. You know what are your strengths and your weaknesses, so that's where you do your market value. But leveraging your unique skills and experience, that storytelling, is how you communicate your value. So that's when you're ready to actually give an answer for that question. And it's okay to ask for the salary range as well, but you also have to be ready to give your range. I'm comfortable with, or I'm currently interviewing for jobs between 60 through 70K, something like that. You don't have to negotiate. You just have to give your range. The negotiation comes way ahead, comes when you get the offer, okay? But you have to be ready for the get-go to communicate that you know how much you're looking for. You know how much those jobs that you're applying for are paying because you have done your homework around that, okay? So that's one of the interview mistakes, not preparing for the salary question. And that's something that you should be ready for from interview one. Then another common mistake is giving the same answers in every interview. So you have to adapt your answers, targeting the company that you are interviewing for. Because imagine that all of the candidates that they have answered the same thing once and over. And then how do you stand out from that pool of candidates? You have to really tailor your answers for the interview. You also have to investigate on the company, and that will allow you to tailor your answers. You have to find something to relate to about the company. Oh, I work in the same industry. I have worked with some of the clients that you also serve. Oh, or the company where I was working is actually one of your clients. You know, there are many things that you can investigate nowadays with the use of the internet and pages like Glassdoor, like LinkedIn, the webpage of the company is the main source of information that you will find. So you have to do your homework and do that research. And another interview mistake is actually not asking questions at the end of the interview because we're afraid of being passing by like, oh, she's asking too many questions, or she doesn't know the company pretty well, or, so we get uncomfortable when it's our time to make the questions. It shouldn't be that way because it's actually a two-way street. You're actually also interviewing that company to see if that is the place where you want to work in. So that's why it's very important for you to prepare questions to ask at the end of the interview. And one of the questions is not how does the process continues? When can I expect to hear back from you? That's not a question. That's a mandatory question that you need to ask at the end of the interview, but there are also other questions that you have to ask. And I'm going to show you a few examples. But first, let's see what are the common questions in the interview. Those questions that we all know we're gonna get asked, but for some reason, sometimes we don't even prepare for those questions. So tell me about yourself. What do you know about the company? Why do you want to work here? What motivates you at work? Or what makes you the ideal candidate for this position? And guess what? I have already told you what the answer is for all of these questions. And it is knowing what your goal for your job search is, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and knowing how to leverage your skills and experiences. When you know those three things, you're able to answer all of the questions that you're seeing right there. And now we're gonna jump into some recommendations for the interview. Asking questions during or at the end of the interview. It's okay if it becomes more of a conversation because you get questions, they get questions, and sometimes the conversation even flows better when it goes that way. So you don't have to wait until the end of the interview to ask questions. If you see the right moment to ask specific questions, then go for it. You can show that confidence. So these that you see on the slide are some of the questions that you can actually ask. What are the biggest challenges that someone in this role will need to tackle? Why is this position open? This will also give you information to know if this is the right place for you to work in. Another question, can you tell me about the team that I'll be working with? So is it just you? Is it a big team? Is it a small team? Are you comfortable with that? So all of this will give you insights and information that you can use to make a decision later on if you move on into the process. Effective post-interview follow-up. So I recommend that you send a thank you message. No asking, do you think I'm moving forward with the application or this and that? No, just a thank you message 24 to 48 hours after the interview. Then you send an email asking for an update on the application 7 days after, or the time frame that they give you. If they told you, oh, you should hear back from us after 3 days, then you send that message after 3 days. You respect the frame, the frame that the company has given you. And if you are not the chosen candidate, then still send a final thank you email. And the third recommendation is make the most out of rejections. Add your interviewers to your LinkedIn network. You have already been there with them, share at least 30, 40 minutes of your time, maybe an hour of your time. You should feel comfortable enough to add them to your LinkedIn network. And this will lead me to another question for you. So be ready to participate in the chat. And I want you to guess the percentage of people who get jobs through referrals. Okay, 30%, 80, 90%. Okay, interesting. Okay, perfect. Some of you guess it. It is actually at least 70% of the jobs are filled by referrals. So this is an amazing statistic for you to see how important it is to leverage and to work on those networking connections, on building those relationships, because that recruiter that interviewed you yesterday, he might be in another company in 2 months from now, and you might cross paths again. You never know. Maybe you were not the right candidate a week ago, but maybe you are in that new company 2 months from now. So keep that connection, create that network. It's so, so important. And mainly for us, which I guess most of us are immigrants into a new country. So we have to leverage that connection. So some network and building connections best practices. I recommend that you engage into networking activities like the ones that Latinas in Tech proposed. They have so many spaces for us to connect and to get to know each other. So this is an amazing example of those networking activities that you should be participating on. If you're new in the city or in the country, apply for professional volunteering opportunities. That's also a great way to get to know more people that are probably already into the job market in your professional area, and you want to get to know those people. Have an optimized LinkedIn profile. So don't be a ghost in the platform. There are people that don't even have a picture. You imagine you send a job application, they go to your LinkedIn profile, they don't see a picture, they don't see a banner, they don't see information. You're just kind of a ghost in the platform. So don't be, put a nice picture, put your banner, complete your basic information, and you don't have to be a LinkedIn influencer to have an effective network, okay? You can have a very small network, but it can still be very effective if you maintain that connection, okay? And last but not least, I want to remind you that most of the time, the one who gets the job is not the most qualified person, but the one who is better at job hunting. Because if you think about it, you need a different skill set to perform your job than to look for that job. You have to be a very good communicator. So if you're not, then work on those skills. Practice for that interview, because that's what's gonna get you the job. And that's why I created the talenting method, which is a 6-pillar process that will prepare you for your next job search. And it is based mainly on a market and self-study. Then we go to resume and cover letter crafting. We use LinkedIn as your strategic ally. We go into job search strategies. we get to know how to do effective networking and the interview preparation. So if you want to have more information, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram, and you can also follow me on LinkedIn. And I think we are just right on time. So thank you very much. And now I will leave open the questions, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you, Andrea. Oh, wow. That's a lot of information for a little time that we have. I wish we have like, 2 hours, 3 hours. But anyhow, so this is very good. Thank you very much. I see some, people clapping, sending hearts and all that. So thank you very much for the engagement. I feel that it was a very way to, having people engage in the chat. That was a great way to do this. So thank you very much. So we're gonna go through some of the Q&A. We'll only have like about 10 minutes to answer some of the questions. So here's the first one. Do you have any tips for landing your first job in Canada as an immigrant? So like, for example, when you don't have Canadian experience.
Yeah, volunteering experiences are the best in those cases. So try to look for professional volunteering opportunities that will help you not only build on that network that you will get, the people that you will get in touch with, but here in Canada, the volunteer experience is also as valid as a work experience because you just need someone to refer you. I actually worked with a client last year who had a resume gap for like 5 years, and she did a professional volunteering, and after just 1 month she got a job because she got that recommendation from someone that was already here in Canada. So that I would say is your best shot.
Volunteering, yes, for sure. Perfect. The second question would be the professional headline is like the about section on LinkedIn. Is that correct?
Actually, the headline in LinkedIn is what is, I don't remember if it's below or above your name on LinkedIn. So you have your picture on LinkedIn, you have,
I
I
think
think
it's
it's your,
below.
yeah, and below that you have the headline. So that headline that you used on LinkedIn can also work on your resume, maybe a little bit shorter. But yes, that's the one.
Perfect. The third question would be, do you recommend Teal to help with the resume?
Yeah, there are many apps that help you using AI nowadays to craft your resume, to make it better, but just be careful with the ATS because the format sometimes is not the best. And try to give it also that human touch because you cannot leave it all to IA. Is not recommended. You can get some guidance from it, but just don't rely 100% on the app.
Yeah, yeah. So the other question is, I was told by an LHH counselor that applying more than 3 times in a year to one company doesn't look good. Is it true? I ask because some of us are employed, so I would think it is okay if the jobs you're applying to are in the same realm.
Yeah, if the positions that you're applying to are in your same professional realm, that's totally fine. It's not that it doesn't look good. It looks bad when you apply for a customer success specialist role, and then you apply to a digital marketing role, and then you apply because then it shows more, I don't know, desperation to getting a job,
Yeah,
like whatever.
exactly. Like,
Yeah, but if it's within the same realm of profession, then it's totally fine because you're actually qualified for the job, and it means that you want to work for that company, so it doesn't look bad.
That you're interested, yes. Okay, next question. What would you do if the application online form asks for your salary expectations? I've heard that we should put in 0. Is that the right thing to do?
It might not be the right thing to do because some of the ATS will actually discard your application if you put 0. So really try to put a number or a range that you're comfortable with. But yeah, just do your job search, like do the search on how the market is paying for those jobs and try to put a range in between.
Perfect. Yeah, I have some questions here that we already answered in the presentation, but this one is interesting. Any tips for people changing to the IT industry? I guess this person is just on a different industry like
On
education
on a different
or something
industry.
else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for that?
Yeah, you can reach out to people that is actually on the field that you want to work in. So if you see that a person has a lot of experience and you just send a LinkedIn connection, you offer, hey, can I ask you some questions about your profession in the area? And that way you start building connections. You can do that many times, but also because getting connections is important within this industry. It's very, very important. So recommendations and leverage or put the emphasis on your tech skills, not on like, oh, I'm a good communicator, I'm good doing presentations. They want to see that you have the technical skill set that is needed for the role.
Nice. Any tips on how to land an BP role without the ER experience?
Without the ER experience,
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the ER experience means. If
I guess
I don't know who.
recruitment or something? Well, I don't know. Let's see
Oh,
if
employee relations. Okay.
okay.
Employee relations. Yes, you definitely can, because there are some HRBP roles that don't require employee relations. Because for example, if it's a big company that has a union, that's like a different department that will take care of that. So you can maybe filter your search by looking for those positions that don't have a very mean implication into employee relations.
Nice. So I think this is just a comment. Thank you very much. It is very useful for me. I'm a new immigrant in Canada and I have a PhD in engineering in agro-food. Wow, interesting.
Wow.
From Tunisia. Yes, thank you very much. But I have a big problem to have a job with my profile. So as Andrea said, so you can contact her. Here's the contact information if you want to get more in touch with her, and she can help you out. Um, another, yeah, what is the process to work with you? Yes. What specific services do you provide? You can answer that one quickly if you want.
Okay. Yeah, so I provide services to craft resumes and cover letters, also to optimize your LinkedIn profile. We can work on the whole, on the 6 pillars that I showed completely, like prepare you for the job search, or if you want to work just with one of the pillars, like, oh, I don't want to go and look for a job right now, but I want to optimize my LinkedIn profile, we can also do that. Or I'm currently passing through interviews, I want to do an interview preparation session, we can also do that. So you can reach out to me either on Instagram or on my LinkedIn.
Perfect. And I think the last one we have here Any suggestions with coming up with a good headline when changing careers? This is an important one.
Yeah, just put the focus on your transferable skills. So what are the skills that you bring from your past experience that will help you to get into this new professional career that you want to take on? So make sure that you use, there is important the use of the keywords, so you don't mess up your past experience with the new one. Try to put more the focus towards the new keywords, like for the new job that you want to find, and your skills. Very focused on your skills.
Perfect. Yeah, so we're good with the questions, and we want to give you, before we head out, we want to give you a very thank you to Andrea, to my team, Diana, Ileana, Veronica, I don't know if they're there, Stephanie, Selene, all of them, for supporting this event. I want to also give you a little bit of a surprise, because between Latinas in Tech Canada and Andrea, we came up with a little gift for you. So if you the first 3 people that contact Andrea after this webinar, you're gonna get 30% off on any session that you pick. So that's just a little bit of you know, a gift, let's say, from Andrea to you, to our community that so we're supporting us. So get in touch with her, and you might get the chance to win that 30% off. So yeah, this is also our QR code. So if you want to be part of our community, if you're not yet part of our community, please scan the QR code. We thank you very much for this for your participation. It's very important to us. And yeah, so have a great rest of the day. Have a great night, everyone. And thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Just one
Thank you,
final
Andrea.
that we will be sharing the recording through YouTube, and we will be sending it to everyone via email so you can see the amazing content that Andrea shared. Thank you so much. And just to clarify, MCP Andrea, should they be getting in contact with Andrea via LinkedIn or email through her websites? All the above.
Yeah.
All the above.
All the
Yes.
above. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank
Great night.
you.
Bye. Ciao.